Welcome back to the Artefactors Union. I am your host and foreman, Douglas Scoundrels, and today we are assembling the Euripides Core box for the Neverborn faction. The box contains A1 Euripides, this one-eyed man here. One Primordial Magic? Yeah, Primordial Magic. God, I almost said Puke Snake. Okay, and Thoon, our lovely henchman, and 3 Gigants? I like calling them Gigants. Here's one of them. Anyways, that's alright. Here is the renders. All big boys except for the snake here. And from looks of it and the sprues, they are relatively complicated, so this might be a little bit of time and effort. We'll see. Anyways, let's look at the sprues. This one is a very full box. For one sprue, we have the entirety of Euripides up here and the entirety of Thoon down here. And then on the second sprue, we've got Primordial Magic here. 1, 2, and 3 Gigants. Oh my goodness, I'm going to be doing this the entire time. Alright, anyways. We'll always start with the master, so let's get a better look at our master sprue. Euripides has a lot of bits, but at least they aren't small. They're all pretty chunky, which I am very happy to deal with. So our order is probably going to be as follows. We will combine the 2 halves of the torso like we always do, followed by both the legs and then the rest of his pants here, which goes on the front, followed by the extra bits on his back, which is this one and one of these 2, I believe. Then we'll do the left arm and the extra bits that's attached to that left arm, the other one of these. We'll do this and this, which constitutes the right arm and right hand, followed by this thing that goes over the front of his chest. And I think that might be it. I believe this attaches to the arm somewhere, but we'll figure that out. But let's start from the beginning, like usual, these 2 bits first. Back half plus our front half. Next will be right leg, left leg, and then the crotch flap. And if you have a problem with right and left, like I often do, our right leg is going to be this one with sort of the flat connection point, and our left leg is going to have this nice tooth that'll jam into this hole. So let's do the right leg. Excellent. And now our left leg. There we go, both legs are in. Now let's do our crotch flap. Excellent, his lower half is done. So let's turn him around now and quickly fill in these holes on his back. Right here and right here. Bigger one will be filled in with this guy, and the smaller one will be filled in with this guy. If you look at the connection point on it, it's pretty obvious that that's the one that's supposed to go in there. One thing to note for both of these is that the spiky bits on it are already pointed up. So let's do the big one first. Okay, kind of like they're pointed up on the big one, but this one is going to be kind of going forward. Okay, that's both bits. Now let's do our left arm. That's going to be our full arm here. But also, it's going to have this bit on the back of the arm fitting right in there. The pointy ends of the knives or whatever are going to be pointed away from the body. So let's do that. Start with the left arm. That's the angle you're looking for. Now add the spiky bits on the back of the arm. Everything going in pretty easily. For fun, let's just add that head. I'm just gonna be that guy. Okay, we'll see if I regret that once we get to the clothy bits. But for now, let's work on the right arm. So I'm going to break one of my normal rules, and we'll actually combine these 2 pieces first. This being pretty much the majority of the arm, and this being extra cloth. But if we turn it over, we can see where that connection point between the 2 will be. And once we're done with that, we'll add that onto the model, and then we'll do the right hand. Okay, start with our first bit. Add our cloth. Add the right arm to the body. And finally, our right hand. Okay, our last bit, the cloth flap on him, this guy right here, this end is going to go right in there. Okay? Well, it really didn't give me too much of an issue, just need to wiggle it in there a bit. Head didn't get too far in the way. But it's a simple connection, so pretty easy. He's done. Get him on a base. Euripides, the one-eyed monster, is done. Hardest part was... I mean, I didn't do the greatest in filling gaps, but with large bits like this on weird models, they tend to have a bit of gap issues. Other than that, oh goodness, it was quite simple. Just figuring out, I guess, where the pokey bits went. You know what? The crotch flap. The crotch flap, it was really hard to get in there as far as like still gap filling goes. So we'll say the crotch flap was the hardest part. Okay, all right. Let's move on to the totem. Our Primordial Magic is surprisingly complicated for a snake coming out of a portal, but we can handle it. So we'll grab the body and immediately attach it to the base. We're looking at the bottom of it. Then do the 4 flamey magic-y bits that go onto the base. After we're done with that, we'll construct the head. We'll do the jaw, attach the tongue to the lower jaw, and then the upper jaw, the head, the top of the head, and then we'll attach the whole thing to the body and be done. Okay, so these are our first 2 bits. So we have our snake body, and here it is attached to the portal. So let's go and do our flamey magic-y bits next, starting with the one, let me grab my pointer, starting with the one that goes right there. That is going to be this bit right here. Okay, there it is, attached, nicely curling around our snake. Next, our 3 bits are going to be kind of in a sequential order right next to each other. First one is going to fit right in there if my left hand won't stop shaking. So our first bit is going to be this one, and you may be like, Doug, where did the other flamey bits go? Well, I misplaced them. I thought they were going to go in different spots, and I was wrong. Some of it due to the instructions, some of it due to me just not having good spatial awareness today. I'm sorry. But that's going to be this bit, and might as well, the one that was here will go next, followed by the one that was there. And that's what it looks like inserted into the base. Our next bit is, well, it looks, I shot it across the table. Good job, Doug. It looks the one that looks like that. But more importantly, that's the connection point. And that will go right in there. And there we go, our second bed is in. Now, I didn't think the body would be in the way as much as it kind of has been, so while it has been too difficult to sort of wedge stuff in there, it'd be easier to insert everything onto the base before you put the snake on there. Just letting you know. Our last bit that's going to fit in that last connection point is this one. And there's our connection. That helpfully just pops into place, and we're done with the base. So let's work on our snake head now. So our order of assembly is bottom jaw, add the tongue to it, then the top jaw, followed by the top of the head. Okay. Lower jaw, and we'll see if I should have done the top of the jaw first, but yeah, that's supposed to be sticking up there because there's a nice nifty hole in the top of the jaw where that tongue is supposed to go. But I also feel like if I did the top of the jaw first, it would also still be awkward to shove in there. So what you're looking for is there's a little crease right there on the tongue, and that should just match the same line where the texture of the bit stops and the connection point begins. Okay, now let's try the top of the jaw. You know, that was actually really easy to do. So I guess I got the order right. Hooray. Let's do the top of the head now. Okay, we have a full snake head. Now let's just jam that onto the snake body. There he is. Pushing the head on them wasn't as easy as you might expect. There was just a big old gap in the neck for the longest time. You just need to put a lot of pressure on this side of the head to squeeze in and squish the head onto this side. It might shift around a little bit, the bits, but as you can see, it looks a lot better than it... Well, you didn't see what it looked... It looked a lot worse. There was a big gap there. Now there isn't. All right, base him. Primordial Magic is done, and this thing can very politely go to hell. The magic bits on the bases were frustrating. Yep, that was the hard part. I'm surprised the tongue was so easy. But still a few bits, so I'm not going to complain too much about him, but that's really it. We're done with the snake. Let's move on to the henchman now. Thoon is almost as many pieces as Euripides, but not quite, so hooray. Slightly less work for us, hopefully. It's just as easygoing as Euripides was. I'm going to change things up and actually not start with the torso. Just looking at the instructions, I feel like doing it from the lower half, finishing up the lower half before we start on the torso might be the better solution. So we're going to go and start with that. We'll grab this piece, which is the back half of sort of the pelvis. There we go. Technically, it's just the cloth, but whatever. Then we'll add the right leg and the left leg, and we'll go ahead and do the right foot and the left foot, and then we will cover it all up with the front of the pelvis cloth thing, whatever. Once that's all done, then we can do the two halves of the torso, plop those onto him, followed by the... We'll do the left arm, the right arm, the rest of the chain, and the two halves of the head, I guess, lastly, and plop that on. Alright, that's a lot of instructions. I realize I have this thing backwards. My bad. Anyways, grab this bit, followed by this bit, and this bit. Okay? Our starting clothy flappy bit. Our right leg is going to go fit right in there on top of that tooth. And yep, there we go. Now left leg is going to connect in here as well as connect to the right leg. Still actually connects to the right leg, not where I pointed. This apparently where the other claw flap is going to connect in. Anyways, yep, that's our left leg. Let's get looking at our next bits. Next we'll do our feet. Here's the right foot. It is an innie, and our left foot is an outie. And then we will finish up with this guy, the rest of our cloth thing he's wearing. Yeah, feet down. Just our right foot. That one in easy. Now our left foot. Continuing to be easy. Now our last cloth flap bit. And actually it was also surprisingly easy to put in. Hooray. Note, it will connect onto the thigh, right about where the knife is pointing, as well as right here on the cloth that was already there. Alright, let's go on to the torso. Okay, I think I can safely give the order of the last bits. Grab the two halves of the torso, glue them together, and then put them on the body. Do the left arm, followed by the right arm, chain, and left hand. Connect it to the body as well as the left arm. And then add the chain on the end, which will connect to the left arm or left hand. Once that's all done, do the two halves of the head together and put the head on top, alright? Okay, so two halves of the torso first. Alright, our back half of the torso, plus the front half. Now jamming on the legs. Went in just fine. Alright, now let's do the left arm, the one without a hand on it. Okay. Got that. Now let's do the right arm, which the chain, this guy, has the left hand on it. Okay. Also note that there's a connection point right here, which goes on his chest, roughly around there. Alright, that's how it's supposed to go. Looks all nice. Now, the remaining finger on the left hand is connected to this chain bit. You can see the finger there. Ta-da! Okay, grab the two halves of the head, and a one, and a two. Whoops. Make sure that you do a good job cleaning up the nubs that were inside of the connection point on the back half of the head here. Otherwise, you're going to have a much bigger gap in the forehead. Okay, now let's attach them to the body. Big head. Alright, all done. Base him. Thoon is done. Fairly easy build. Hardest part was the crotch flap. Yep, we'll go with the crotch flap. Chain was surprisingly easy to figure out too, so that's a nice surprise. Usually things that are holding on to two ends of a long piece of chain or rope or whatever is a bit tricky, but all in all, pretty simple. I like him. He's cool. We can move on to the minions now. Our first Gigant. Pretty simple. Two halves of the torso. Do leg, foot. Right arm, left hand, and then the face? Yeah, let's do that. I guess I got it upside down, technically. Well, the one... whatever, we'll go with this way. Grab both halves of the torso. Back half plus the front half. Alright, let's figure out our legs. Alright, our right leg is the one with this band around the thigh, and then right foot over here. Left leg, left foot. Okay, let's do the right leg. Okay, good. And the right foot. Wiggle this one, fits in real snugly. Let's do the left leg now. This one's sitting a lot further forward because he's leaning forward. Let's now do the left foot. Okay, let's round this off with our last 3 bits. We'll do the right arm, which is the one holding the rock, the left arm, which is the one not holding the rock, and then the head. Here is the right arm. And the left arm. And lastly, the face. He's all done. Let's get him on a base. Gigant, number 1, is done. Hardest part was nothing. Gap filling. We'll say that's my standby for a large model, just because they tend to have issues with gaps a little bit. If I spent more TLC on filling that in, I could make it look a lot nicer, but having the gaps there is easier for people to see, so I'm not going to do that for a video. Yeah, okay, he's done. Oh wait, he's named his name. Goliath. We'll go with the easy one. Goliath. This is Goliath. Okay, move on. On to our second Gigant, which is a little bit more complicated than the first, but should still be pretty easy. She'll mention that this is listed as Gigant 3 in the instructions, but I'm just going to go off of what's listed on the sprue. So we will start with our usual both halves of the torso, then the right leg, the right foot, left leg, left foot, crotch flap, then the left arm, the right shoulder, the right arm holding the rock, and then the head. Okay, so these 2 bits first. Back half of the torso, front half of the torso. Let's do our right leg next, which is the one with the strap across the thigh. This guy. And there it is. Now let's do the right foot. Remember, big toes always on the inside. I didn't say that because there's probably some weird Reser kit out there where the big toes are in fact on the outside. But anyways, foot's done. Let's do the left leg, the other leg. Went in just fine. Got that bit hanging out, but that's what's going to be covered by the crotch flap. Let's do the left foot. Feet picks for free. Yeah, that's good. Went in easy. Now, let's review of what we have left. Crotch flap's going to go on first, and then we will do our left arm, right shoulder, right arm, and then the head. Okay? Just our crotch flap. And good thing you are watching this whole video before you start assembling, right, because I had to rip the right leg off before I could fit that in there. I didn't realize that it was going to work like that. It seemed like it would slip in just fine, so that's on me, but again, I really hope that you're watching the whole thing before you construct it, because you know that I make mistakes at times, and I like to show you those corrections instead of trying to make it seem like I am perfect. Anyways, yes, that's what it looks like. You need to do it before the right leg. Okay, let's do the left hand. That's what it looks like. Now the right shoulder. Nothing to say about that except it's pointing backwards. Now the right arm. He's got a rock. Alright, the head. Easy peasy. Put him on a base. And number 2 is done. Hardest part was the... Wait, no, name. Atlas. This one's Atlas. Hardest part was having to rip the leg off because I didn't realize I needed that crotch flap on first. That was it. Still simple, not a ton of bits. Okay, let's look at our last one. Scooch everyone over because the base is so damn big. Okay! Our last Gigant. Giant, well, whatever. Fewer bits. Hooray. Order! Both halves of the torso. Like always, always, always. The left leg has the strap this time. Hooray. Right leg. Crotch flap. Left arm. Right arm. And then the head. Okay. Let's do it. Back half. plus the front half. Now, let's do the left leg. There we go. Now the right leg. Had to do some weird rotation to get it really fit in there. But it'll fit flush, trust me. Okay, now the crotch. Well, let's review. I don't have bit numbers. I want to show you the sprue at least one more time. We'll do the crotch flap, followed by the left arm, the right arm, and then the head. Flap that crotch, which has been flapped, and this time I didn't have to remove a leg. Hooray. Left arm now. This is some kind of basketball pose. I swear it is. Right arm. Well, I can't think of anything but Space Jam. It's Gigant. It's the Savage keyword versus Whizbang. Okay. There's our right arm. Now let's do our head. All done. Gigant number 3 is done. We're going to call this one... screw it. Paul Bunyan. This is Paul Bunyan. We're going to call him Paul Bunyan. Really, really easy. The easiest one out of all 3. Hardest part is the gap filling, I guess? Sure. Anyways, yeah, he's done. Pretty easy. Let's look at the whole box. The Euripides Core box is done, and I can barely fit all these things on my little spinny stand thing. We got Euripides, we got the Primordial Magic, Thoon, and 3 Gigants. Hardest parts was... Primordial Magic really is the thing that stood out the most, just the little magical effects on his base. I think Euripides had a bit of difficulty just figuring out the cloth and get everything sorted, and then the one leg I had to rip off of the one Gigant. Overall, really easy box, though. It helps that they're all huge, so they have huge bits. That's not a euphemism. Right, I've been your foreman, Douglas Scoundrels, helping you build a better Malifaux. Enjoy your giant boys.